This is what medicine used to look like before the Rockefellers took over the entire Western medical industry. Starting off with open windows and sun decks. You see, before we had antibiotics, the best medicine wasn't in a bottle, it was in the air. This form of treatment was known as the fresh air cure, and doctors in the early 1900s realized that tuberculosis thrived in dark, crowded cities. By moving patients to the mountains and keeping windows open year-round, even in the snow, they were literally able to flush out the bacteria that was in the room. Next up, we used to have heliotherapy, also known as light therapy. Here, patients were treated with concentrated UV rays, which killed bacteria on the skin and boosted vitamin D levels. Doctors found out that the sun was a natural disinfectant. It strengthened the immune system enough to let the body fight back against a disease that was otherwise a death sentence. Hospitals also used to have linen sheets, and this is because cleanliness was the second line of defense. Sanatoriums used heavy linen sheets because they were the only fabric tough enough to survive the boil wash. You see, to stop the spread of infection, everything a patient touched had to be sterilized at extreme temperatures. And by having sterile sheets that contained no bacteria or contaminants, patients were actually able to heal in the place they were resting in. In modern hospitals, a lot of the bed sheets are made out of polyester, which are not nearly as sterile as linen, which traps a lot of sweat, bacteria, and other contaminants, keeping the patients sick in their own hospital beds. Interesting, right? Hospitals in the 1900s also used to use copper cups. Doctors noticed that copper stayed cleaner compared to wood or ceramic. And we now know that copper is naturally antimicrobial, and that it actually ruptures the cell walls of bacteria upon contact. So again, by using copper cups, we were able to keep things sterile and cross-contamination between other patients in the hospital. Back in the day, hospitals also used a lot of herbal tea. Without modern drugs, doctors focus on the constitution of herbal blends like licorice and fennel. These herbal supplements would often alleviate pain in patients' throats and help them clear out their lungs of excess mucus. What I find really interesting is that modern day hospitals don't use any of these remedies anymore. Especially in Western medicine, I feel like they're prioritizing profit over actually helping the patients in hospitals and the medical system. Nowadays, doctors are just slapping band-aids on people's problems with medications that fund a lot of the Western medical industry, because the more people that take those medications, the more money that those big companies make. Because if we were really focused on helping people get better, we would use a blend of modern medicine and old techniques to ultimately make people feel better. I'm not against modern day drugs, but I feel like they're being used incorrectly. I would love to hear what you guys think about this in the comments below, and follow me for more interesting videos.